Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love Island USA, Season 7, Episode 16.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, and comment. We are so close. And when I say so close, we're about 800 away from 8,000. But I know with this group of people that watch this show, we can hit our goal. Listen here. I was shaving my beard and I nicked myself. And when I nicked myself, I messed up the shape of my beard. And I tried to fix the other side, and I nicked it more. So I got mad and I just shaved it all off.
It'll grow back in time.
It will be back by Sunday. Okay? It will be back by Sunday. Let's do some housekeeping. Tomorrow is After Sun. Of course, we do not do After Sun, but tomorrow we will drop deep dives. We will drop one deep dive on Saturday, and then we will drop another deep dive on Sunday before the episode come out. All I ask is that you watch the deep dives before the next review. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this episode.
So TJ is talking to the ladies. We learn he is a Sagittarius and his favorite food is steak. Iris is very interested. He wants to find the love of his life, someone who's ambitious. And Iris and Sierra both caught his eye.
Yeah.
Andrina talks to the guys. Jeremiah tells her that his type is foreign Latina. So it's you, girl. And Nick says that he's definitely open. He's a little bit nervous talking to her as well. And then Andrina pulls Jeremiah for a chat. They both love their family. He talks about how he would like to try to learn Spanish from her. And he definitely wants to get taken.
Listen here. Hold on. with this whole Andrina thing and things of that nature and how she's Latin, how come the guys wasn't this excited for Amaya?
I'm like, Amaya got an accent too?
Yeah.
Amaya's scaring the hoes.
Okay. Pretty much.
Love her, but she's scaring the hoes.
She is a bit much. You get what I'm saying? Keep going.
TJ ends up pulling Sierra, and he talks about how he played baseball, she played softball. They have that attraction that is there, and the conversation is super easy between them.
Okay. Next,
we get Olandria and Taylor.
Yeah.
Talking about just basically kind of the nightlife that they're into. He doesn't really go to like country clubs, and she doesn't go out as often anymore. She likes day parties and brunches. He talks about what a day on the farm looks like for him and how they do rodeo every weekend. She can see herself being a little country wife.
What is your thoughts?
Not seeing the chemistry. Olandria, I feel like she's trying to make this thing work with this man, and maybe she really does like him for his personality because he seems like a funny and nice, genuine type of guy. But the romance isn't there.
No,
it's just not there.
It's not. And I will give you just a little preview of what Saturday's deep dive is going to be about. Taylor is a scam. He's scamming his way throughout Love Island. And you know who else I think is scamming as well? Olandria. Because Olandria, you cannot convince me, especially with the videos that we see. We seen y'all in the kissing booth or basically in the photo booth, and y'all gave each other a kiss, and y'all both look disgusted. I wonder, what is it that you see? Because what you see is not what we see, right? What is it about Taylor that you are basically staying with Taylor? I understand Jalen may not have been your type. Shout out to Jalen. Jalen's getting all these sponsors and things of that nature because they love how he was in 2 days. I'm happy for him. But Olandria, you're not going to convince me that you have this deep connection with Taylor. And now I have to question how honest are you with me with this whole Love Island experience, because the more and more I see y'all together, the more and more I'm like, hold on, are y'all trying to trick me? Because there's literally, as Blair said, no chemistry at all.
Yeah. So Huda pulls Pepe for a chat in front of Hannah. She thought he was attractive when she first saw him, and he's talking about how personality is very huge for him. Hannah has a big personality, but he usually goes for someone who's more calm and relaxed. Not Huda.
Not at all.
But he's still open. She's over here touching on his skin, saying his skin is soft, trying to get her flirt on. Huda is feeling good having chats. She also wants to be respectful of Hannah, but she didn't get to know everyone at first, so she wants to be able to get to know whoever she wants to.
Do you think that Huda should have asked Hannah for permission, or at least let her know that she was about to pull Pepe?
She should have gave Hannah a heads up. And the only reason I say that, because I'm usually not a fan of people checking in with folks when they want to talk to people.
Me neither.
But Huda was showing her whole behind. And Hannah was one of the only people that really, honestly, didn't even really check her, if we're being honest. Like, she was on her side, having her back, walking behind her when she was crying. And I feel like I think that you should give Hannah a little more respect than that.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said, but guess what? So what? Like, at the end of the day, I think what is really messing up at least the girl side of Love Island this season, because to me, I feel like the guys are carrying. I feel like the guys have bigger personalities. They're funnier. They seem more fun. I think this whole girls loyalty, no matter how real or unreal it is kind of messing up the whole point of being open and exploring and actually seeing if you connect with people on the island. I understand that throughout the whole time up to this point, well, up until Jeremiah and Huda, until America broke them up, it was this whole idea of, oh, Jeremiah, you're doing Love Island wrong because, you got with Huda and you're not really exploring. You're not really casting your net out wide. But yet Nick ain't out here talking to nobody else. Taylor ain't even talking to the woman he's with.
Very true.
Dude, you get what I'm saying? Ace only talks to bombshells and then tell them that, hey, we're going to be friends. Don't call me babe. So that's why I'm like, nobody is really doing Love Island for the, like, in its full potential of actually, like, you know what, as long as I'm open, I'm pulling someone every day. But that's why I'm like, I don't really like or really agree with the whole permission thing. The only reason why I probably see it from your perspective, Blair, is because, look, Huda was on the verge of being eliminated twice, right? And unfortunately, when I save your behind, you owe me.
Yeah. And
you are in debt to at least Hannah. Now, unfortunately, Hannah's there for a good time. As we saw the night before and things of that nature. But I don't feel like no one should have to ask somebody to pull someone else if they are in an open connection, except for Huda when it comes to Hannah, because you owe her.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And truth be told, it's unfortunate, Huda, that you're in that position. If that's the case, I say y'all should just send her home. If y'all go basically hold it against her, basically like, I was there for you when you was down. Well, at the end of the day, there is a recoupling that's going to happen in the next couple of days, and I need to basically get some work done. And Hannah, sorry, it got to be you, but I like Pepe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got TJ and Iris talking. Iris feels like she's in a friendship couple with Jeremiah. They are in soul ties, him and Iris. They discuss where they're from, how they both enjoy the beach, and he's, enjoying her vibe. They're enjoying each other's personality. She compliments his lips. He compliments hers, and they get to kissing.
Yeah. I don't see a spark here.
I actually did.
I don't see. Here's the thing, right? If I saw more of a spark with TJ and Sierra, and I don't know if that's more on Sierra's part in the sense of Sierra just seems so cool that she just seems so easy to talk to that it kind of make you feel like, dag, I feel like I know this girl. You know what I mean? Well, Iris just basically just looked excited that, oh my goodness, like a beautiful guy coming in and I don't have to be in this friendship couple with Jeremiah. No beef with Jeremiah, because I actually think the feelings are mutual between them two. But even though they kissed, I feel like if he was to actually spend time with Sierra, he may actually like Sierra more based off of the conversation that we seen later on in this episode.
And they do have a lot in common.
Yeah, it's like, I think Sierra is one of those to where, look, if he would have connected with Iris and never talked to Sierra, then maybe I would have saw it. But because I saw him talking to Sierra, and Sierra is so easy to talk to, I can see a guy literally being like, I like how I feel when I talk to you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Iris is a pretty girl, but like Sierra just seemed like the type to where it's like, I can literally talk to you and not like feel like I'm running out of words or that like I'm tired of talking to you. So that's why I'm like, I kind of see it more for Sierra, even though Sierra is with Nick for now, until Olandria wakes up and actually see that Nick is actually her soulmate.
Exactly. So Nick and Andrina are talking. He's trying to talk a little Spanish to her. She shares that she never had a boyfriend. They're both 24, and he's telling her, I am attracted to you. I do want to say I saw the video of Nick online where he was giving his Spanish presentation. And it was really funny. And I would just say Nick is a hoot. Like, Nick is really a hoot. I enjoy watching him.
Right? Here's the thing. I remember when me and Blair was, I forgot where we were. Were we in Miami? I think we were in Miami. And there are a lot of Hispanic Uber drivers and things like that.
Oh yeah, I do this a lot.
Yes. I don't know why you do it. I don't know why you do it. Now, mind you, these Hispanic people that live in Miami that is based there, they speak English too. They speak it actually pretty well. You get what I'm saying? And the guy got it, and we got into the guy's car, and we was heading back to where we was going and things of that nature. And Blair was trying her Spanish with the guy.
I was trying to be respectful.
I don't understand.
And I was trying to speak his language. You know what I'm saying?
The guy turned around and just said, "English, please." And I was like, "See, you're embarrassing me."
But it matters to try. I feel like maybe if I was in a different country, it would have been appreciated. But I was in Miami, so they was just like, "Girl."
Exactly. Even in France and stuff like that, they tell you speak English. Like, do not go to these places like, "Oh, I'm really gonna break out my Spanish."
I'm like, I want to show that I'm trying. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You haven't spoke Spanish since 11th grade, and you over here want to break out your Spanish. You sounded like Nicholas. Okay. Mamacita. I said, stop it, please. Okay.
And we got a new line from him.
Exactly. I'm about to say he definitely looked up something on his phone. Exactly.
But no, they have a cute talk, and the sparks are definitely there, especially from Nick's end. Like he is just like all googly eyed at this girl, but this girl is bad. So.
Nick is going to be, mark my words on this. Nick is going to be the biggest winner from this season.
I'm voting him as my fave tonight.
And when I say the biggest winner, I don't necessarily mean he's going to win the grand prize, but he got the boyish looks. He got the sense of humor. I think the same way as Jalen actually won the bag in the most perfect way. He went there for 2 days, maybe 3. You know what I'm saying? He went there, smiled. He was polite. We don't know nothing about Jalen.
Made a great impression.
Exactly. And now all his DMs is flooded with people that want to work with him. I think Nicholas is going to be the one that's going to come out of the villa, the one with the most when it comes to sponsors, commercials, maybe movies, TV shows, and things like that, because he has personality.
So it's bedtime.
Yeah.
Sierra tells the girls, look, I saw Huda pulling Pepe for a chat.
Yeah.
Hannah knows that, she's probably going to have to talk to Huda about it, and she would have preferred for Huda to at least check in with her first.
Okay.
So Pepe tells Hannah when they're laying in the bed that Huda pulled him, and Hannah was just upset because she was there for Huda when Huda was going through her issues.
That's fair.
Shelly and Ace are making out, and Sierra and Nick got the covers moving, y'all.
Listen here, the night before we saw Hannah licking her hand, jump starting herself. And now we see Sierra on top of Nick and things of that nature. For, as Nick would tell us later on, 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Listen here. I wonder how it feels, because I know some of them got blindfolds on, or basically, what do you call that? Like sleeping mask on?
Yeah, sleeping mask.
Like I know they got sleeping mask on when they sleep. I want to are they giving earplugs too? Because
I think they are.
Because if I'm in the room, I need earplugs, especially if I'm in the room and next to me is Sierra on top of Nick and things of that nature.
So it's the next day.
Yeah.
Jeremiah makes breakfast for Iris and Andrina. TJ brings Iris, Amaya, and Sierra coffee. When Nick comes up with his coffee and breakfast for Sierra, he takes TJ's drink down and throws it in the sink. He's like, we ain't doing that.
Okay. playing dirty a little bit.
So Nick and Ace have a boys meeting. Nick and Sierra got it in last night. It was so fast he had to apologize.
Okay. Don't ever apologize, brother. Okay.
But he's realizing how deep his connection is with Sierra, and it makes him feel good that they're at this point in their connection.
Hey, listen here. Never apologize for being fast. I got some place to be. Okay. Never apologize, brother. I feel you though.
Yeah. Next we've got Huda and TJ talking, and she's telling him, pretty men are her type. They're playing ping pong a little bit, and then they get a text. They will be participating in a challenge today called "What's Your Beef?" And I hate these challenges where it's just nasty.
Yeah, it is.
The
nasty.
Kissing is already like swap and spit, but the spitting in each other's mouth like this, I literally had to close my eyes. I'm just like, too much, but we're going to talk about it anyway.
Okay.
So they have to wheelbarrow blindfold the guy, and they have to bob the apple of the person they want to kiss who's not in their couple. The boy fills their mouth with milk by pulling on
the nozzle.
Yeah, or the nipples or whatever. And then they transfer the milk into their partner's mouth, then into the bucket so they can read a question, and then pour that bucket full of spit and milk on somebody's head. Disgusting. So Olandria and Taylor are up first. They get the question, who has been spreading muck behind people's back? They choose Jeremiah. And then also at the end, you make out on the picnic blanket with whoever you're doing the challenge with.
Nice.
Next, we've got Austin and who we got?
Amaya.
Austin and Amaya. So they get who is the biggest chicken when it comes to commitment. They choose Ace. Ace and Shelly. Okay, Ace was licking Andreina's neck.
Oh yeah,
he was going to town.
Ace was the first bomb. Ace was the first one to kiss the bombshell.
Yeah, and he picked her up pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some people were struggling a little bit.
Listen, no, Jeremiah was struggling. Jeremiah was struggling. Call him out by name, okay? And listen, Huda said he's not very strong.
Yeah,
I said I understand Huda.
They get the question: who do you think has been planting drama? They chose Huda. Iris and Jeremiah go. Who do they think who thinks that they're the cream of the crop? Mm-hmm. They choose Taylor.
Okay.
Hannah and Pepe ended up picking Sierra to kiss, and they get who do you think is full of bull? Mm-hmm. They choose Huda. Nick and Sierra get who needs to leave the herd. They select Jeremiah.
Okay.
Then Huda picks Pepe to do the challenge with. And they get the question, who is making the biggest mistake? She selects Jeremiah, but she wasn't mean about it. She apologized afterwards, tried to wipe the milk and the spit and all that stuff off his head.
Yeah.
TJ chooses Iris for the challenge, and their question is, who do you think has been acting too chicken to speak their mind? Mm-hmm. They select Hannah. Andreina chooses Nick, and they get the question, who do you think is a side chick? And she selects Iris. Sierra was not feeling their kiss at the end. I mean, Nick had his hands full of Andreina.
Listen, that's why I say Nick is going to get a TV role on Netflix, being part of some show and things like it. Listen, it may not be his show, but he's definitely going to be part. On the first time he kissed Andreina, right?
Yeah.
You know how like Jeremiah tried to pick up Andreina and things like that? Mm-hmm. He was the one that let Andreina pick him up, and he sat on the mound.
He did.
Exactly. So look, here's my thought about the game. I was paying attention to Huda, right? And I'll say this: tomorrow's. Am I gonna do that deep dive on Saturday? I might say that for Sunday. Who knows, right? I think if Huda's gonna be this way, I think it would have been best if they would have sent her home. And when I say this way, I'm not talking about she's misbehaving, but you can obviously tell like the light is gone. The light, like this little light of mine is not shining in her. She's basically just there, and she's not laughing with the girls. She's not like, she's basically just there, like basically you sit here and you behave and you be nice to Jeremiah, okay? And it's like, now even when she pulled people for chats, it's awkward. You get what I'm saying? And this is, and I wonder, can she ever get her light back in the villa? I think eventually, I think they may just let her go. And when I say they, I mean America. You know, people. Well,
she's at the bottom of my list.
Okay,
tonight, so depend on what y'all think.
Tell us your whole ballot then. We know Nick is at the top. We know Hood is at the bottom, and things of that nature. Okay, yeah. Cool.
Hannah and Pepe talk. He says that the kiss with Huda was interesting, and he kind of feels like what she's doing is wrong as far as how she's moving about Hannah.
Yeah.
Hannah was trying her best not to react. Huda is having her separate conversation with Olandria and Taylor, and she tells him that she forgot when you choose the person you have to make out at the end of the challenge.
Yeah.
And she, at this point, the only people she's able to talk to is TJ and Pepe. Olandria tells her, well, you should have given Hannah a heads up, you know, if you wanted to pull Pepe.
Yeah.
Ace thinks that Huda choosing Pepe is game. Nick doesn't want it to be Villa versus Huda. He feels like she put her best foot forward in the challenge. She apologized to Jeremiah after she dumped the bucket on him. And I will say that I don't think we need to beat a dead horse.
Okay.
I think that you guys had your come to Jesus conversations with Huda and made it very clear that y'all wanted her up out of here. Nick saying it with his chest once and then saying it with his feet second.
Okay, pretty much.
So I think I'm willing to I'm about to say give her a clean slate.
No, go ahead.
But I think it's fair if she shows up in a better light to give her a clean slate. I'm not saying forget about everything that she's done or how she moves, but I don't think that she should be punished for the sins of her past. Let her try to have an experience here without people kind of icing her out, you know?
What's the point of giving her mercy if you're not gonna give her a clean slate?
Right.
Like now Nick, I understand Nick stood behind Jalen.
Yeah.
So Nick can feel however he wants to feel and things like that. But Sierra had to talk with him. And I understand, listen here, you remember when Charlie was still in the villa and the bombshell came in? I'm trying to remember who was that bombshell. Who was the girl bombshell? I think it was Iris that pulled Charlie. Who pulled Charlie for a chat? I think Iris pulled Charlie for a chat, right? And that's when Hannah started spazzing and stuff like that. She pulled Taylor and said, man, I'm mad and things like that because she was mad that someone pulled Charlie. I understand that Hannah is mad at Huda, but I think everybody know, hey, the real crazy person in this villa is Huda. And you may feel like you want to go at her, but you're not gonna go at her. And if any fight break out, I'm putting my money on Huda, right? But I agree with you 100%, Blair. If you are going to save this girl, which I understand Nick wasn't the one that quote unquote stood behind her, but at the same time, that doesn't take away the fact that when she was away from y'all all was huddled up talking about it, and when she walked by, y'all straight got quiet as if she was Debo. You know what I mean? Now that she's here, y'all have to basically include her back into the fold and hold her accountable in the sense of, hey, don't talk to Jeremiah. And as long as she do that, include her back into the fold to where y'all can have fun as one big group. Give her a chance to basically prove herself that she can do it, besides it just being awkward. You know what I'm saying?
And I just want to say, like, Ace always got his head on a swivel, and he's always thinking game and trying to peep game when it comes to everybody else. And I'm not going to lie, I would love to see him on Traders. I want to see how he does, especially if he's a trader. I think Ace would be an amazing trader.
I think Ace is just good at TV. Yeah. I think Ace, especially for his age at 22 and things like that, even though 22 is not young, we are not old at all. But for him to be 22 and for him to speak with the confidence that he has and things like that, I think he will be good for any show, especially Big Brother. Like, I think Ace just has the type of personality. As small as he is, he does command the room. That's why Nick is friends with him. That's why Taylor is friends with him. I'm not going to count Taylor, though. That is why Jeremiah, who basically we saw this beef, at least this imaginary beef, but I thought it was real beef in the beginning of the season. Now Jeremiah is cool with Ace. They over there high-fiving and things of that nature because there's something about Ace's personality to them that makes them want to be cool with him. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So it's nighttime. Yeah. Iris is feeling in Amaya that she's been feeling TJ, and Amaya is just over the moon, feeling the chemistry with Austin. At the same time, Austin is having a conversation with Jeremiah, and he is telling him Amaya is intense.
Told ya.
He is like, it's just not normal. He's never felt this uncomfortable around a lady before.
Listen here. I said the lights is off in Huda eyes. The lights is completely off in Austin eyes when it comes to Amaya. Do y'all see when he demonstrated with Jeremiah where he's like during the challenges, like while we was on the bench, he just kept like holding on to me. He said, I understand that I was in this love triangle with Shelly, but this is just a lot. And I'm just like, yeah, Austin,
put me back.
You don't like that girl.
Put me back in the triangle.
Amaya is a lot. Amaya is a lot for anybody, in my opinion.
But the thing is, Amaya does come across so sweet, so genuine, and just very excited and happy to be there. And she just can't read a room for nothing. No, she just can't. Aw.
Sweet. She's sweet.
She's very sweet.
I give her sweet, but at the same time, and I don't like to use this word, so I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna try to think of another word because I'm smart, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm not that smart this time.
Well, tell me what you're trying to say, and let's see. Let's do a little taboo.
She comes off as dumb. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Like, and nobody wants a dumb.
Maybe simple.
Okay. She was touched by God. You know, as in like, it just comes off as like, I don't know who Amaya is outside of, because when she's talking to Austin, I don't know if she's coming up to Austin's level or going down to Austin's level.
Austin been down for a minute.
So it's like, it's kind of wild. Like,
it's chaotic energy.
So like, I think.
But I love it though.
But it's like someone that just can't, like, even when she was crying when Charlie was trying to give his speech, it's just a lot. Like, you are intense, as she said, you know?
She's a joy.
Charlie said, hey guys, I just want to say. She was like, no! No, you dead ass right now, no! I was like, Amaya, please stop it, please. Stop yelling. Because, mind you, there's no music there. So all you hear is Amaya just yelling. As if,
I got to hear the cut without the music. Like, oh my gosh.
I don't need to. Listen, Ace knows she crazy because Ace turned his eyes at her while her face was wet with tears. Yeah. Here's the thing about it. If the guy that I said have monkey in his brain clashing symbols, and he's like, I don't like that girl, I think she needs some self-awareness.
So, yeah.
Maybe not dumb. Dumb may be a little harsh, but she just come a little just a little too airheady for me. I don't know.
So we move on. Huda and Hannah have their conversation.
Yeah.
Huda tells her it didn't cross her mind to talk to Hannah first. She wasn't trying to disrespect her situation, and she apologizes. She says that she's new to this whole pulling people, and she has to try to get to know people.
That's fair.
Hannah just feels like, I was there for your situation, so it does kind of feel like, why my guy? But she respects that Huda has to talk to folks. So Hannah thinks Huda not diving into the experience at first backfired on her, and she feels like Huda should be more genuine and intentional on how she's moving in the villa.
Hannah, hush. But I will say this. Even though I just said everything I said about Huda, about how she should be brought back into the fold, Huda, you don't gotta lie. Like this whole excuse of I don't know how things work here type of thing, as if you wasn't playing basically defense whenever a bombshell came in with Jeremiah looking over, sitting across and things like that when Sierra first got there.
All these B words.
And so that's why I'm like, the whole premise of Love Island. You've seen it before. You know how it works when you pull somebody for chats. I do not agree with the asking for permission. I feel like as long as that person is open, you can pull whoever. Pepe been there for 5 episodes, if that. So like I just think that Hannah is the type of person of when I'm with you, right? No matter if I'm with Charlie. When I'm with Charlie, I'm with Charlie. When I'm with Pepe, I'm with Pepe. And I do think like in this moment, Huda, don't lie and say I did not know that, the rules of the pull and chatting thing. You know how it is. How it is.
So TJ and Sierra talk. He likes how she's so chill and classy. They're talking sports, and he shares that his dad is older, so he does have this kind of urgency to want to be successful, to start a family, so that way he can show his dad while he's still alive that he's doing well in life.
That's cool.
Yeah. Nick and Andrina talk, and they enjoy their kiss during the game, and he's over here talking about putting, you put my arms over my head, Dominicana. And she's liking him more and more, enjoying their chats. He ended up kissing her hand and her cheek, and it was a very cute, very funny chat.
Listen, I understand what the camera and production is trying to do to make it seem like, Sierra's falling for TJ and Nick is falling for Andrina. Nick just likes, right? Yeah. But I don't think Sierra is falling for TJ. I think Sierra just enjoy talking. Like, she just comes off as someone that really she just seems like a very lighthearted girl. You know what I'm saying? Like someone where if it's a challenge, we go kiss, I'm going to kiss. I may feel some type of way, but I ain't going to hold it against you. It's funny because how I thought about her during the whole Bella thing is completely different than what I think about her now, right? I think she really took into the whole account of, I got the guy, ain't no point of really crying about spilled milk. It's funny, especially with this challenge. So it is what it is. I think as long as she has Nick, she feels good about her position. And I don't know. I'll say this. Of course, more people is coming into the villa. We still got Casa. As much as I like Ace, I do not believe in Ace and Shelly, right? I definitely don't believe in Olandria and Taylor. You get what I'm saying? Iris and Jeremiah are just friends at this point. The only couple that I really truly like left is Nick and Sierra. Like, Nick is likable. He's probably the most likable guy in the villa. And Sierra is likable enough for us to be like, you know what? They cool. Austin don't like the person he with. So that's why I'm like, so far, they are our winners so far.
And I think that both Nick and Sierra, they're just kind of like people persons. I feel like they like find ways to connect with people like genuinely. And I do feel like when I saw the Sierra and Pepe conversation, I didn't feel the connection because I didn't feel like Pepe was genuine. But I feel like when people are like real, like Sierra can form like real connections with them. Like, they're just cool people to me.
Sierra over there talking about, so is it MJ or like LeBron? Like it just that type of like, just, you know what? Let's have a conversation that has literally no weight to it. Right. We just talking.
So Huda and TJ talk. Huda apparently like bit his lip in the challenge, bruised it a little bit. They're kind of talking, laughing, joking about that. She's enjoying flirting with him. They end up going to Soul Ties, and the conversation was kind of cut short. He was looking like, I guess he was tired. She was like, we can continue the conversation tomorrow. Honestly, I feel like he just wasn't really into Huda like that. I think that he enjoyed talking to her enough, but I think that she probably turned some people off by the way that she acted, to the point where I don't know if I want to get close to you. And plus, the way that he was making out with Iris and talking to Sierra, those are just seem to be more easygoing situations, you know?
Let me tell you exactly what it is. Okay. I like your theory, but let me try to get into his mindset, right?
Let's hear it.
Here's the thing about it. Even though Huda is crazy, you get what I'm saying? Even though she showed her whole behind, right? We cannot deny how beautiful Huda is.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Yeah.
Very gorgeous, right? I'll probably put her top 2. You know what I'm saying? Some people may switch 1 and 2 between her and Andrina. Who knows, right? I think she always been beautiful. That's why she relies on who she likes.
Well, she also paid for it, so she got to use that.
But hold on. But it could be enhancements, right?
Yeah.
But watch this.
She was cute before. She was.
Exactly. When someone is that beautiful, they rely on their beauty to draw people in. But once I got to have a conversation with you, when you realize I know more about Jeremiah when he's talking to Iris than I ever knew about Jeremiah talking to Huda.
Agreed.
Dude, you get what I'm saying? And he's been with Huda longer. Usually women, at least with my experience, that is like extremely, extremely beautiful, and they always been beautiful. They always been male-centered as Huda is and things like that. She always I think they rely on their beauty so much that a guy is like, oh, okay, that's cool. You don't come from a great conversation with Sierra and then go to a dry conversation with Huda, and then all of a sudden you sleepy. Of course you sleepy, because you're like, dad, you ain't got nothing else but beauty, really. Yeah. Whole time he kept talking about his busted lips so much, I'm thinking he's about to talk to workers' comp or something like that. He's like, my lip is busted. She like, did I do that? He was like, yeah. And then once they got up to soul ties, he talked about it again. I was like, file a complaint then, okay? Stop talking about it. Do something about it. So I think with Huda, I think she is very beautiful, and she relies on her beauty, maybe her booty, right? And we don't really know, even with the whole Huda and Jeremiah couple, we don't really know much about either of them, because they really haven't shared outside of them just being pretty together, you know?
So Amaya and Austin have a conversation, and she's asking him, do you mind if I call you babe?
Wait a minute.
And he doesn't mind that. He knows that she's just an affectionate person. She hanging off of him already. And she asks if there's anything I do that makes you uncomfortable, and, she feels like if there was something, he'd be the type to tell her. And Austin tells her, it's just that I love your energy. It's just that I'm not used to it yet. And she's like, okay. And you said she trying to match his energy. His energy was kind of low.
His energy.
He looks tired.
But I'm saying she's trying to match his. Like, what do Amaya talk about? Amaya don't talk about anything.
She's just happy to be there.
And no, it's worse than that. She don't talk about anything. She over there trying to iron pajamas the day before. She's over there at one point when she was talking about the whole meditation thing. Like, there's really nothing to her that
we've seen,
that we know about her. You get what I'm saying? So when Austin's there and he's basically standing there like this the whole time, for one, are we gonna give Austin flack for at least being dishonest? Because he was dishonest with her, because straight up she said, dude, you have a problem with me calling you babe. He knows he got a problem with her calling him babe and things like that, because it's intense, right? Ace was at least man enough in that moment to say, hey, that babe? Don't do it, right? Here's the thing. I think when it came down to Amaya came in as a bombshell, and as a bombshell, you automatically feel like, oh yeah, she is a bombshell. I really want to see what that's about. But then the longer she's there, you realize ain't not really there. And Austin's already over it. For one, I feel like he's over it for other reasons other than like it's Amaya and things like that. But I just think he just like I didn't come here for this, and now I feel like I'm stuck. Yeah. And Austin, yes, you are. You are very stuck with Amaya.
So Jeremiah and Andrina talking soul ties. He's only had one relationship. She's never had one. And she tells him it's not like I'm psycho, but she just doesn't do the one night stands thing. And she also only entertains conversations with people if she could see it going somewhere. Yeah. But they are liking each other, staring at each other. They end up kissing. Yeah. And they're just both like just two little, teenagers. They just seem like very happy. Like Jeremiah, I feel like Jeremiah can't believe that he's over here kissing somebody like Andrina. He's super excited.
Listen, every time I see somebody in soul ties with their shoes on, I be like, how dare y'all disrespect Ace bed like that? I'm still over that being Ace spot. What is your thoughts about this scene right here? Because I have a theory.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like they're connecting. I think that honestly, this is Jeremiah's like fan, and I did kind of want to get into this a little bit. And maybe I might be going a little bit too deep off the edge.
I straight got my dashiki ready. Go ahead.
even with Nick a little bit, and Jeremiah Jeremiah, I think that they're being kind of heavy on the fact that she's Latina.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of feeling a little fetishy a little bit. And maybe that's just preference. Maybe that's just interest.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they find hot. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But I hope that as they continue to get to know her, they get to know her and not the fact that she is some foreign-ish, as Jeremiah would say. You know?
You are 100% right. It's the same way. Listen, even as young boys, when I was young, we all thought the same way. Like, oh, we need a Latin girl, someone that's lighter skin and long hair and things like that. And then I grew up. And you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about this. I have a theory. Now, this may be a tinfoil hat theory, or this may be a real theory. She said she never been in a relationship, or she only been in one.
Never been in one.
Never been. Hey, Jeremiah, you might be trading crazy for crazy. Mm. The fact that she even brought up, hey, I'm not no psycho. Hold on. Who? Why are you bringing up psycho?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm not trying to go with the whole, like, the thing, the saying that people say about Latinas and things like that, like, oh no, they crazy. But I will say this though, because she doesn't have much experience in relationships, right? And Jeremiah, he is definitely, his heart is open to be with this girl. Hey, the weight of you being with her may make her a little crazy. She may take it very seriously than what you want to take it. Because truth be told, I think she said her family's in New Jersey. So my whole point is
only a couple of aunts.
So
yeah, most of her family's still in the Dominican Republic.
So where is she?
She's in New Jersey.
Yeah. You're still in LA, bruh. Mm-hmm. like truth be told, now you got the same problem with another girl. You know what I mean? With the whole idea of if y'all do win the game, as you said, Jeremiah, you still go be in a relationship with a girl that lives across the coast. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, Jeremiah, outside of your nose being open, and I understand the whole fetish with Latinas, but Andrina is a very attractive woman and things like that. Oh yeah, very attractive. Mm-hmm. So look, I understand, but I would caution him because after listen, I'm gonna be fair with y'all. After a certain age with me and things like that, once I got to a certain age, 21, 23, I say, you know what? I can't talk to girls who never been in a relationship no more. Someone who don't have experience. You know what I mean? I don't want to take, for me personally, I say I don't want to take no one's virginity at like this age because I don't want the weight of that. I want someone that's experienced more. Or
they can tell all my business.
But I'm saying once I became 21 and 22 and things like that, I said I don't want to date these type of girls. I don't want to date virgins, and I don't want to date nobody who never been in a relationship. Once that happened, I was like, I don't want to deal with that. Jeremiah, you're dealing with a girl that basically never been in a relationship. That can be a burden. Hopefully you're not trading crazy for crazy. That is my theory.
Yeah. And that's all I got. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
You sure you gonna put Huda as last place?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, come on.
For sure.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Do not forget to watch the deep dives before Sunday's new episode, and we see y'all then.
Bye.